I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I maybe couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, Robertson County. Let's get on into it. This is 1100 WSG. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What you doing? Is it a good morning for you? It's a rainy Monday, but come on, man. We need the rain. Oh, my goodness. We have been so dry. We live up on Carrs Creek, and oh, my, I've not seen... I've seen it dry, this dry before, but not usually at this time of the year. And it's a bummer because it kind of messed up our fall leaves because at least it did in my yard. The hillsides are not too bad, but as far as what's out in front of my house, but my trees right around my house and stuff, they just didn't get enough water. And so they just kind of pretty much dropped their leaves. And it's like, oh, well, fall color's over and it's, got to get through Halloween tomorrow and all the things. And I'll tell you, with the leaves dropping, this is something I noticed this morning with the rain. And this is the traffic reporter in me kind of reverting back. I can remember something that we would always caution people about is as the leaves are falling, especially on these back roads, where you can look at my car. I parked my car under a tree and it's just covered in leaves. But down my road, it's not as bad as some of these really back roads. And my husband, when he was working with the buses, would take me down some of these roads that the buses have to travel. And a bit treacherous at times in the dark, in the rain, and with the leaves falling, it makes for a very slick. Come on in, Aaron. It makes the roads a little bit slick. It's the same kind of thing that happens whenever we get a rain in the summertime. And that rain hits the pavement and it brings the oil up. And the pavement is kind of the same effect. So this is kind of a traffic reporter cautionary note to be careful on these roads that are covered in leaves and rain because it's super slick. Motorcycles especially, oh my gosh, terrible for motorcycles. And just keep that in mind. I can't imagine anybody being out on a motorcycle this morning, but with gas prices what they are, put on a rain suit and go, right? Yeah. Hey, Aaron, what's up?
Nothing much. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. I appreciate you adjusting. We've juggled the schedule so much this month because we had some people that were only in town. I had Steve Hemphill was here, for your normal slot, and he's from Texas. We had the guys from Croatia in during the Blues Festival, so we moved Mayor Vogel. So you were not alone in getting shuffled. I appreciate you.
It's okay.
Thank you so much. And Kerry Roberts is coming in tomorrow on Halloween. Okay. He's supposed to have been last Monday, but that was on him. I didn't move him. He had something last week. What are you doing?
Nothing much. Well, and I'll say too, I think I've told you, but my oldest son, he started Mother's Day out. And so my wife being a school teacher, she leaves to go to work in the mornings at 6:30. Mother's Day out isn't till 9. So I take him on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
And of course, I think my normal time spot is on Wednesdays.
Sure.
But when he started that program, it just altered my Tuesday and Thursday schedule, but that's okay.
That's just, it's just part of, I think back, as a grandma, as a mama, I'm always wanting to spend time with my grandkids. But you know what? I have to check myself and go, you remember what it was like when you had a bunch of little ones and everybody wanted you to go everywhere with them. And it's just hard. And it's just you all of us mamas and papas, we've got to be more patient with our kiddos that are raising kiddos, and just understanding. And,
and excuse me, I'm getting
you're
over,
fine.
I think what everybody else has this time of year, but I'm just grateful that I have a career that lets me be involved as much as I am. When I drop him off in the mornings, I'm one of the only dads that's dropping their kids off. So
yeah. So there's just blessings all over. I tell you, it's fun. I love watching you. You've got such a sweet little family, just a beautiful little family, and all the things. And but you've got. I mean, I keep saying I need to come see you. I got hit with a big old tax bill there, and they were not pulling enough money out of my check at school. And I've mentioned this a little bit. If you're somebody that teaches, there's a little box you need to check, especially if you're an empty nester. Oh, they kicked me in the teeth with taxes.
Let me tell you something.
Me in the teeth.
And please, this isn't a knock against Robertson County Finance Department. Miss Jody does a great job of running that department. But my wife's a school teacher. My mom works for the county. We have, I don't know how many county employees as clients. The county is notorious for not withholding enough income tax.
Mm-hmm.
So what my recommendation, as a financial advisor, and we tell our clients this all the time, work with your CPA or your accountant, whoever does your taxes, to figure out, how much money you need, how much do you need to adjust your withholding so that you break even at the end of every year.
We've done that. And I mean, we've got a big tax. I mean, my husband and I both would like to work summer school, just for the record, just to help knock down this tax bill. Cause we were like, it's a long story and it's fine. I mean, it's only money. I don't care. I really don't anymore, Aaron. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like trusting God on all of it. And it's all good. I'm just thankful to be employed and, and healthy and all the things. But financial planning is something we all need to do because you never know. Because here's the thing. Had we had a financial planner before we had to close the business, people don't realize my husband had 10 years of health issues. He was completely crippled for a year. And if you're, and it's from a botched hip replacement. And I don't even want to go into that. It's just absolute ridiculousness that, anyway, if we weren't prepared, we had a roofing company that was doing, we had a good company, is all that, but he had that. And he also developed atrial fib and atrial flutter, which he's stable, doing great now. But we had no telling how many surgeries. I mean, he had 10 years there that it was just medical. And if you're not prepared for that, we're very fortunate that we came out on the other side and that we're doing okay. But we could have done so much better if we'd have just come and talked to you, in our 20s and our 30s, even our 40s, So anyway. Yeah. You do a good job, brother. So what have you got to tell us?
Thank you. Well, so I'll spend just a second or two. Excuse me again. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I'll spend just a second or two talking about, the markets and what's going on there, but I'm not going to spend too much time because I feel like for the last year and a half, I've been coming in here and just beating a dead horse. Thank you.
In case you need it.
I lived on these things last week.
Yeah.
Yes, markets are a little volatile right now. We knew going into the second half of this year that we would likely see some volatility. And the main reason is because markets were just overvalued.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you throw in, some talks of government shutdown and, the geopolitical event with Israel and Hamas. The 10-year treasury yield is going up. There's a lot of different, things and variables that are playing into this market volatility. But we still feel like it's a correction, and that's one thing that I've had to remind people of. Technically, we've exited that bear market or that down market that we were in last year. But even in healthy expanding markets, it's still normal to see a 10%. On average, you'll see 10% correction every year. So that's completely normal. But like I said, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about that. So the first thing that I wanted to, I guess, announce, and if you receive Social Security benefits, you've probably already heard this, but the Social Security Administration has announced the 2024 cost of living adjustment. So your increase, everybody knows last year there was a very significant increase, and it's because of inflation.
Right.
Typically, and it's not just Social Security, really just about any kind of federal benefit. So military pay raises, VA benefits, a lot of times, those benefits, you'll get some type of cost of living increase. So the 2024 cost of living adjustment for Social Security benefits will be 3.2%. So anyone receiving Social Security benefits will get a 3.2% pay increase. Although this is considerably lower than the last 2 years, this year's increase is above the 20-year average of 2.6% and in line with expectations. So the cost of living adjustment is based on the rate of inflation, specifically the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. In the last 2 years, saw an outsized cost of living adjustments due to the significant spikes in inflation that resulted from several unusual factors. But we could, spend a whole hour talking about the reasons for the high inflation, but we're not going to do that. So let's see. Our recommendation would be, and of course, I know, everything has gone up. You go in the grocery store, prices certainly aren't coming down, but our recommendation, if you're getting by okay, take that extra money, and you're retired or you're on some type of fixed income situation, set that extra money aside in some type of emergency fund, or even build, a short-term, cash reserve fund to get you by, at least say a year. That way you wouldn't have to withdraw on any retirement accounts. And that's something that we've seen, in a perfect world, you never want to make a withdrawal from a retirement account during a down market. Mm-hmm. If you don't have cash set aside, sometimes you have to do that. So, I guess the bottom line is, if you can, try not to view this pay increase as an opportunity to go on a spending spree.
I don't know. I guess the thing is I'm listening to this as I'm you say set it aside, but it doesn't sound like it's going to amount to a whole lot for an average person. And I can't imagine trying to set aside a year's income as you know what I mean? I get that's good advice, but for people that are on a fixed income, they're like, well, that's like a fairy tale to me. Does that make sense? I mean,
yeah, but I guess we're kind of looking at that through the lens of, okay, if you have Social Security, you might have a pension or a rental property or some farm income, just say some other source of income. Mm-hmm. Then you've got, a 401k or IRA. So you've got multiple sources of income and multiple buckets, I like to say, of money. So now if you only, if your only source of income and that you have is your Social Security and you don't have any buckets of money, then yeah, that would probably be very.
And I don't know. I know a lot of people that are there, and that's, my little stint working at Payne Chevy, because I spent a year there between when I had that little, after I got laid off from traffic, I spent about a year over at Payne, and people who were financing vehicles that had pretty much Social Security income. And it was like, so I'm stunned at how many people out there, just aren't prepared, I guess,
Right.
So, but anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track here, but
No.
But listening to you, I'm like, I think, what was their increase in Social Security last year?
I want to say it was it 8.7?
Okay.
I read so many numbers. Sometimes my numbers start going together, but it was somewhere between 8 and 9%, I believe.
Is there a max amount for Social Security? Somebody told me there was a max.
Yes. So and let me just say this: Social Security is its own animal. I know a lot about Social Security, but when it comes to the exact numbers, I usually have to go look those up. But yes, there is a maximum benefit that you can receive, but that's based off of your income.
Because what you had previously made.
Right. Or like if you're working, in retirement, like I said, it's
a lot of
all
variables.
Yeah,
okay.
It's all income based.
I'm 60 years old. I'm kind of going, I'm teaching. I'm going to teach until I just can't do it anymore because I love it. But anyway, talking with Aaron Slate. He is financial advisor. Tell him where to find you, young man.
Yeah, I got started and realized I didn't even introduce myself.
I think we just kind of jumped into it,
That's okay.
Go ahead.
My name's Aaron Slate. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones. My office is located in Greenbrier. We're in the Franklin Farm Center, in the opposite corner of Jose's, the Mexican restaurant. My office number is 615-863-2142. Again, that's 615-863-2142.
And I need to pause and talk about Cumberland Connect. I love to use you as an example for Cumberland Connect as I remind people they may already be in your neighborhood because they were in your neighborhood and you guys just called and I was so jealous because they were able to get connected way before me. But it's wonderful. Are you still loving Cumberland Connect?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's wonderful.
No issues.
None.
And of course, when we got it and signed up, it seemed like, we didn't have hardly any devices really besides like our phones. The next thing you know, we're connected in TVs and the Amazon Echo Dots, or whatever, Alexa, whatever they're called. I don't know. We have more devices now than we ever intended, and we have no problems at all. It's great.
Well, and we had somebody, my friend Paul Rainey had asked me if I'd gotten the extender to my barn yet, but we're going to do that ASAP because I'm wanting to put cameras out there. And really just to kind of keep a check on things when we're not there.
That's something else that, that we never intended, but we have a Ring doorbell and we have Ring floodlight cameras and
I just want to be able to check as we're turning the barn into a place for photography and stuff. I want to be able to keep an eye on things. I don't want people out there poking around and stuff. And we tell everybody to come and visit us and play on the creek, but we don't want you up around the barn.
Right. Well, and that's
stuff up in there,
That's like us, having that swimming pool.
Yeah.
We've got a camera
be careful
on the whole pool.
Yeah.
I have some neighbors that are less than ideal. I'll leave it at that.
Bless you.
So I've got a camera, on that side of the house. But yeah.
But you have,
and we have the smallest package too. We have all these devices and
really
stream, and we don't have any problems, with connectivity or
are you kidding?
Speed, anything like that. Yeah.
Well,
great.
see, and that's the thing, guys. We talk about high speed internet. I got a gig because I can, and it's $80. And my kids are like, "Mother, you don't need a gig," and I'm like, "But I want it." And so I've got a gig, and they say it's like filling a bathtub with a fire hose. But anyway, but here's the thing: if you're somebody that's struggling financially, and you're saying, "But that's a lot of money," well, they've got an affordable connectivity program providing qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. If you're eligible, you could receive up to $30 per month to help pay for broadband services. They got packages starting at $30 per month. You can call them at 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, or go to cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org, and tell them you turn and Aaron sent ya. And let's get right back to it. I don't want to run out of time. We've got Police Chief Head coming in here this morning. I think he's bringing somebody with him too. So Jason Head's on his way in. So what else you got for us?
All right. So I wanted to spend just a few minutes talking about Roth IRA conversions. And the reason I picked this topic, I think it's timely. Getting toward the end of the year. Roth IRA conversions might be something that, if you're a retired individual or you're in a lower tax bracket, it might be something, you would consider. Of course, let me just say first.
Let me understand that because I kind of had a baffled look there. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I will in just a second. But let me just say that, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax professional. We do not give tax advice at Edward Jones. So normally when we start having this conversation, I recommend that our clients definitely consult their CPA. And, we can even be a part of that conversation with the CPA if we need to. So before we unpack, what a Roth conversion is, I think it's really important to understand the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. So a Roth IRA is tax-free, meaning when you put money into that account, you've already paid the tax on that money, so it grows tax-free over time. And when you withdraw that money, just say at age 59 and a half, that's the age where you can withdraw from retirement accounts without any kind of penalty. So when you withdraw that money at age 59 and a half, it's tax-free. So on the other side of that is a traditional IRA. So traditional IRAs are funded with pre-tax dollars. So you have not paid tax on that money.
Right.
So it grows tax deferred. And let's just say 59 and a half, you take that money, you pay income tax on it. Now, I don't think you can ever go wrong with a Roth IRA, but just rule of thumb is, people in higher tax brackets may benefit more from a traditional IRA because it can help, with your tax liability. But when we start talking about Roth conversions, all a Roth conversion is, let's just say that you have a bucket of money, so you have a bunch of money in a traditional IRA.
Mm-hmm.
All that is where you take some of that money from your traditional IRA and you transfer it to your Roth IRA.
Okay.
Now, when we do that, and this is just an industry rule, you cannot withhold tax. Like typically, if you take a distribution from your traditional IRA, we can withhold tax on that money. Now, when you transfer from a traditional to a Roth, there's no tax withholding. So that's why I'm saying if you're gonna think about doing this, you need to consult your tax professional, and also you need to make sure you've got a little cash. That way, when you get your tax bill at the end of the year, you have money to pay that. But why would we think about doing this? And I would say there's really two primary reasons. So on a traditional IRA, everyone knows that you have to take what's called your required minimum distribution starting at age 72 and a half. Required minimum distribution, that's RMD. So at the end of every year before December 31st, if you're at a certain age, you have to take your RMD, and that amount is factored based on a table that the IRS has and their formula. I'm not going to get into that, but you have to take that RMD. So for a lot of our clients, they don't need that money, but they have to take it because the IRS tells them they have to take it. So on a Roth IRA, there is no required minimum distribution. There's no RMD rule. So if you have money in a tax-free account and you don't need that money to live, you can let that money continue to grow, tax-free. And also, too, I would say that the second big reason that we would consider a Roth conversion, it allows you to create a tax-free legacy for your heirs. So if you're passing down a retirement account, would you rather leave your beneficiaries a big bucket of money that they're going to have to pay tax on, or would you rather leave them a big bucket of money that they don't have to pay tax on? Now, either way, somebody's going to pay. Somebody's going to pay the tax. But I would say for our retired clients, if you're in a lower tax bracket, that's certainly, really, the ideal time when you would want to consider a Roth conversion. If you're in a higher tax bracket, it may not be the best case scenario. But like I said, that's usually, it's definitely an area that we encourage you to have that conversation with your CPA. And there's even been times where I'll get calls from clients, towards the end of the year, and they'll say, "Hey, I met with my CPA. He said I need to convert X amount of dollars." So a lot of your more, I shouldn't say better, but more experienced CPAs that are familiar, with, or a little more familiar with retirement planning, sometimes they're already on it.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. And I mean, and that's one thing, we have excellent CPA, and the only reason we got messed up with our tax situation in the way we did is because we always file an extension, and that's on us. But it's just we have people that that are really good at this, but they've advised us we need a financial planner, even at the age we are. It's just something you just can't. You need to stay on top of it. We're talking with Aaron Slate. He is, of course, with Edward Jones there in Greenbrier, and just always available. Give him your number again. I know that we're going to run out of time pretty quickly, but tell him how to get in touch with you, and what else do you want to talk about as we wait on Chief Head.
My office number is 615-863-2142. Again, that's 615-863-2142.
Very good. What else have you got for us? I don't see Chief Head out there just yet. Do you?
That's it.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen him walk in. I will say, I would have to look at my calendar. So if you follow our Facebook page, stay tuned. We should have a post coming out here probably this week, I would think. So in the past, we've done like a holiday Christmas open house type thing. Last year we did it. We had an okay turnout, but kind of what I've realized is I don't think most of our clients, some of them will come, some of them won't. But at the end of the day, like I don't think it's a deal breaker, if we don't have an open house. But we like to do it. This year. And I think with the first year that I opened our office, we did this, and we had a great turnout. So we decided we're kind of going to go back and keep it simple. We are going to have an open house, but we're going to try to, really make that more of like a community event. So we're going to have it on a Saturday morning from 9 to 11. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there.
Wonderful.
And really, I like when I say community event, the reason I say that is because we're really kind of more, encouraging parents and grandparents to bring their kids to get pictures taken with Santa. And usually what we do every year, regardless if we have an open house or not, but usually we'll take up donations, whether that be toys. Like for a long time, we donated to the Green Ridge Civitan Club. Last year, we took up donations for the Open Door Pregnancy Center. I need to get with Misty or Jada, because I think what we want to do this year is maybe take up donation items for the Isaiah 117 house.
Right. And that's I haven't had Misty in here in a while. She's been so busy. But I think that's a wonderful idea, and that's cool. And so did you give the date on that? What date did you say, or have you
I'll have to
said
look.
yet? Okay. I didn't think I heard you say the
no,
date.
we haven't said. I couldn't tell you.
Well, and you'll be back in, because this is the October visit, so we'll see you in November. So, and hopefully the calendar, of course, I know we're going to be coming up on Thanksgiving. I think that's Thanksgiving week, maybe. So if you're, check your calendar, make sure you're good. And Aaron's toying with the idea of sometimes maybe filling in for me. He's been thinking about it. We've talked about it. That would be fun.
I would love to.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be excellent.
I think I would enjoy it. Like I told you, I'm not promising I'll be good at it, but I'll enjoy doing it.
Well, keep in mind, there is a possibility. I'm not planning on taking time off unless I have education things I have to do. I've had to take so much time off this year because of my education programs I'm having to get for my teaching license. I think we're going to take a week off at the end of the year. So there might be some dates out there. Okay. And Lee Marie, she's always available usually to do it. But now she's teaching at Chet up in Nashville, the homeschool program that meets at our congregation up at Madison. And so sometimes she's not available. And so, but the last week of the year, we may take off, just because I think we need to. And so, there's some dates there. So if you kind of look at that and see if you want to do one of those, and we'll get you ready. Well, let you come in.
Yeah, and as long as I'm in town.
There's that.
Yeah, and we don't have a trip planned right now. The last couple of years, I feel like, Christmas Day, we've been like, hey, you want to go somewhere?
Yeah. I know.
Well, because usually at the office, our calendar between Christmas and New Year's, like we don't schedule anything.
Yeah.
Because it's that time of year where nobody knows what day it is, and nobody wants to come talk to me anyways during that time. So we usually keep our calendar empty. But but yeah, we may not have something planned, but that don't mean we might not take a trip, go somewhere last minute.
I hear you. Well, kind of keep that in mind. Oh, I think I see Chief Head, and he's brought somebody with him. So, but any parting thoughts as we wrap up our time?
I don't think so. Again,
I'm tickled we got it all in. Normally we're rushing through and never getting all the stuff that you bring to the table in.
And I could talk about this stuff, for a full hour, but just I've always said I try to keep things as simple as possible. I tell our clients, you can be the smartest person in the room, but if you can't communicate, it don't really matter. So we just try to keep it simple, at a high level where people can understand. So.
One of the clearest things that you said is talking about how you're different buckets of money.
Yep.
And I'm like, I get that. So I appreciate that. Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Tell them to give me your number twice again, and tell them where you are.
I'm Aaron Slate, financial advisor with Edward Jones. My office is in Greenbrier in the Franklin Farm Center. Our office number is 615-863-2142. Again, that's 615-863-2142.
Thank you, Aaron, so much. Look forward to talking to you. Getting close to Turkey Day. And as he makes the switch and steps out, and we have Chief Head come on in here. And again, he's got a guest with him. He told me who it was earlier, and I've gone blank. But I also want to remind you, Christmas samplers coming up this weekend, y'all. I hope you, those of you who won tickets when we had them in week before last, I hope you remember to go and show up because you're on call. You've got your tickets at will call on Saturday morning. I think I'm going to go by there Friday night. I really am, because I want to get in on those sale items. I want to get in on some of that cinnamon bread. But this Christmas sampler is Friday and Saturday. Don't forget, up at the center. But I want to talk to you about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Brokers. They're separate brokers. That's, we've got to remember, even though they work together and they help each other, Barry is the broker here in Springfield. Rebecca's the broker up in White House. They have separate offices. They have separate websites. If you Google Barry Richards Exit Realty Garden Gate Team, if you Google Rebecca Richards Exit Realty Garden Gate Team, completely different pages are going to come up. They have a little bit of different style, even look to them. Barry, he focuses on the marketing background that he has because that's unique. When you've got somebody that's in marketing that's in real estate that understands completely how to market your property, from the videography, the photography, the walkthrough virtual tours, drone footage, all of those things, it's amazing what they can do with your property and make sure it's seen in the best light. They've both pages have the little search bar where you can start your search here. Tells them a little bit about Barry and Rebecca and the background that they have, and it also talks to you about the fact maybe you want to be a realtor. Maybe that's something you're looking into and you want to learn more about it. Well, they would love to mentor you and have you come into the Exit Realty fold. If you want to contact them, again, can't say enough about it. Just Google them, Barry or Rebecca Richards at the Exit Realty Garden Gate Team. You'll get completely separate web pages, and you can give Rebecca a call at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Come on in, gentlemen, have a seat. But you can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, BUY, robertsoncounty.com. And you remember that they specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. And when you get in touch with them, please let them know that U-Turn sent you. My goodness, Chief Head. And remind me your name. I'm
Madison Burnett.
One more time.
Madison Burnett.
Yes, Officer Madison Burnett. And what's your rank? Assistant Chief. Okay. See, I'm thank you very much for getting me all straight here. But Chief Head, how are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Have you been in here? You've been in here before.
Several times.
I'm so sorry. On my show?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry, sir. Okay. God bless you. I'm so sorry. But it's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. How long has it been since you came in? Probably
8 months, 9 months.
I don't know, but I apologize. But we're talking with our police chief and our assistant police chief, and what's going on, gentlemen? I appreciate y'all coming on in here and helping us out this morning.
No problem at all. Thank you for having us. Weather this morning, wow, it was a big change in the weather, isn't it?
I know it. I gave a little bit of a traffic report as I sat down. I don't know if y'all heard that or not. But we had, because the rain and the leaves and all of that caused so many problems on the road. Because, do y'all have, that's one thing we used to advise them in traffic is that we need to slow down on the back roads because the leaves will pile up, especially for motorcycles and things like those kinds of things. The wrecks that we covered with leaves and wet highways is astounding.
I'd like to be on a motorcycle this morning.
I could see where that would be an issue.
But
Slick.
Anyway, and I mean, just, if as we're getting into the fall and we're going to fall back, I'm sorry, gentlemen, as we're going to fall back, it's just one of those things that we can't caution people enough that they need to slow down and be careful and keep the headlights on and all the things, right? I guess we're just kind of reiterating all that.
Those are all good things, all good tips.
But so what do you want to talk about this morning, guys?
Well, do we have any questions that come in at all?
Well,
Anything?
I think more than anything, and this is something that I've mentioned to you and all of the law enforcement in the area, is that when I reach out for questions for police force, I get back all the time, just tell them they're doing a good job. Tell them they're doing a good job. And I mean, that's one of the things that I think we have unique to this area, is that we do have a lot of folks that are just saying, thank you.
Yeah, we have a good, tremendous support. We appreciate the public and the input anytime. But any questions are welcome. We get them a lot. Sometimes when things don't seem to be, people don't understand things, perhaps sometimes, and we have to explain a little more in detail why we did something or why we didn't do it. Those types of questions. But primarily, a lot of things we're dealing with right now is still thefts out of vehicles.
Right.
People leaving items unattended in your vehicle. They are not secure. If you leave an item in your vehicle, whether you overnight at your residence or you're out somewhere shopping, it is not secure. Even if you lock your vehicle, if it's in plain sight, thieves are going to find a way to get to it. They're going to find an opportunity. And we're seeing a lot. We've had the cases before here. Just had some in White House recently. I know they posted something about dealing with it where a lot of younger people don't know who exactly they are, but they're being let out in neighborhoods, and they'll go around looking for opportunity, which is vehicles unlocked. They don't seem to be breaking windows or anything like that, but they're going for easy things like firearms, electronics, money, all these things that we may leave unsecured in our vehicle. Even if you lock it outside your residence and you're leaving these things in your vehicle, it's not secure. So make sure all you got to do is simply take it in. Be smart with it. If you're going in shopping, don't leave your firearm in plain view, because a lot of times we can't recover that thing. It's very hard for us to get it back. And then it's outside somewhere floating around in the hands of these thieves, and God only knows where it goes from there. But please park smart, lock your vehicle, take your belongings out of it. And those are simple tips that could help us and help the public out too. I think we had some this weekend out at the park. They had a trick or treat event out there, and we've had a few vehicles that were thefts from them. Purses were taken. I don't know all the details yet. We'll get back to that this morning when we get in. But leaving a purse in the vehicle and losing your credit card can cause a lot of problems, and your ID and all these other things. It can cause identity problems. Plus, somebody's going to go try to use that credit card or those items. Well,
and that's, just this time of the year, talking about the trick or treat. And of course, that's probably one of the biggest things is tomorrow. Trick or treaters is going to be out there and about. And I know that it's going to be colder and they're going to be bundled up. They're probably not going to, because when they have to put the extra layers on and stuff, that's going to hide a lot of the reflective things that you might want to do. I mean, just all the things that as you think about just this season and the new risk that come along with that. But are y'all going to have extra patrols out and everything tomorrow? What's going to be the situation there?
We'll have approximately 4 additional cars working during the hours of when the kids will be out trick or treating. We'll have them in the neighborhoods.
Pull that microphone to you a little bit more there.
Try to have them in the neighborhoods where the children trick or treat and keep people's speeds low. We would just recommend to parents that they make sure their children are visible. Put something on that's reflective. I know it's probably going to be cold.
Oh man,
they'll be trying to put coats on and stuff to cover up, but they need something so the people in the cars can see them.
Well, and is there one particular neighborhood that gets more Halloween traffic than others? Because I know, I've been to some of these neighborhoods. It just seems like everybody just comes and drops their kids off, and it's like, I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know if there's particularly any of them that we have engaged the traffic volume of trick or treating. But as you mentioned, a lot of them do seem to get quite a bit of traffic, and it depends on what day of the year, what day Halloween falls on that year too. But good advice, as Assistant Chief said, make sure you're visible. If you're driving in vehicles and parking and letting children out, make sure you have your flashers on. You're not parked in the middle of the road blocking other traffic from people getting in and out of their neighborhoods, which can aggravate the people that live in that neighborhood. Also, be aware if perhaps a house, I think there's no City of Springfield. Let me say this: City of Springfield does not dictate trick or treating rules or Halloween rules. Right. There's curfew. Also, I think it's common courtesy if people don't have their lights on, then that perhaps means that they don't want to knock at the door or something. But be aware where your children are going to at all times. Pay attention. No problem. Pay attention to where you're dropping them off at, so we don't get anybody lost too. I mean, we've seen a lot of confusion with a lot of kids running around in costumes, and they all look very similar. So just be aware what time you're being out there and where you're going and your surroundings.
So have you ever had anybody pick up the wrong kid?
Not yet.
You see that in the movies sometimes, it's like, well, I got Darth Vader and I thought that was my kid, and that's funny.
Especially this time, they'll probably be dropping more off out of vehicles than walking around so much, depending on the temperature and what the weather does do. I think the temperature's supposed to be pretty cold.
30.
With the wind chill down a little bit, but make sure they're visible. That's a big thing too. Getting out on the street, don't just assume another vehicle can see the children and everything. Safety is the biggest. We want kids to have a safe, fun Halloween. We want Springfield to have a safe, fun Halloween, and you do some very simple things to take care of that. Make sure we do.
Okay, well, and I'm kind of anxious to I like the fall festivals and things like that. I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm ready to get beyond Halloween and get on into Christmas and all the things that we do with that, because I know you guys have a lot of things that you do for the holidays, and the taking care of some of the kiddos. And do you want to speak a little bit? Let me do my break, because I kind of would like to hear, we know we've got Halloween, we got to be careful, and we've kind of covered the safety stuff, but what do you guys have planned with Christmas coming up? Because I know y'all do the shopping.
Yeah, it's
and
a
all
great
that
segue
kind of stuff,
into that.
you?
We've been doing a lot of things with some community events, and that's a good segue into talk about what we got coming up.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me go ahead and do my break here. I need to talk about Veterans Motorplex real quickly, and we're going to continue talking with Chief Head and Assistant Chief Burnett, and appreciate them giving their time and coming in here. Busy folks, but we want to remind you that you can go out to Veterans Motorplex 2 more weekends. They have extended it. Normally it would cut off in October, but they had their trunk or treat from race cars this past weekend. And then if you come out on this Saturday and then next Saturday, you've got 2 more weeks that you can go out and see the racing and have a good time at Veterans Motorplex before it closes for the season. So get on out there. They're at 6801 Kelly Willis Road, 6801 Kelly Willis Road. You can give them a call at 615-643-8725. Still one of the best tickets in town. $40 will get up to 6 kids and 2 adults in. $40. Great price. Go out and see the racing with the weather cooler. It's really enjoyable, kind of bundling up and sitting in the stands, getting something from their wonderful concession stand, but a good time for all. And the season's about to end. 2 more weeks that you have to get out to Veterans Motorplex before they close until spring. And this is the old Highland Rim Speedway. You can follow them at Highland Rim Speedway on social media. They kept that old Facebook page just because they had so many followers out there. But get by there and see them next 2 weeks. You've got racing. Gates will open at 4. Racing starts at 6 and will go until about 9 o'clock. 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Please let them know that U-Turn sent you. And as we're continuing on with our conversation, talking with Assistant Chief Burnett and Chief Jason Head, we have got great law enforcement here. Appreciate you guys so much. And I'm just so glad that we finally got together, because I know I've had to cancel on you, and we've had to, it's just hard to get the schedules together, but I do appreciate it. Because last time they had my teaching thing up in Knoxville or whatever, and I was like, why don't y'all wait until I'm here so y'all can come in and talk to me? But so what have we got going on as far as what's coming up for Christmas now?
Okay, we've got we've just finished a couple of events that we've had that we work around fall with Bransford Pride and the after school program, and we just finished up a report cards coming out and assessments. So we help them out with providing something very simple for them to tell them that they've done a good job and we're there to support them. And then also we had a Halloween event with them last Friday, and there were several community partners that came out and helped out with that event. We've partnered a couple times with a company that's moving into Springfield called Carver Cares. They've helped us out on some things and some school supplies that they had donated here that they couldn't get into Nashville, so they moved those resources here, which is tremendous. And then, of course, we've got our Shop with a Cop. The holidays are coming up. We've got our annual Shop with a Cop, and that'll be at Walmart, and I think it's December. I'm not exactly sure of the date yet. We just picked it about 2 weeks ago, but I think it's December the 12th. But I'll get back to you. Make sure you make that announcement.
How does a child qualify for that? I mean, is that something that is that something? We'll direct that to Assistant Chief Burnett.
In the past, the schools have played a major role in that.
Okay.
They tell us what kids are really in need.
Okay, and so they provide. So if is it too late to submit a child's name if you know somebody?
No, what we partner with the Roberts County School System with the Family Resource Center, and there are a lot of great events out there. A lot of children get taken care of, whether it's an Angel Tree, a private event, or it's something sponsored by a community organization or a public organizations such as ourselves or some of the other agencies, law enforcement agencies, several of them. So there's a lot of kids that do get a lot of great attention, but there's still some others in need that may not be able to be reached out to. So we partner with them and say, hey, can you find us some children that may not be on some of those other lists, or some of them, and send them to us, and we'll try to take care of those. And we're able to service probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 30 kids, depending on what's going on, more towards the higher end of that. And last year we partnered with the Sheriff's Department as well.
Okay.
With their deputy that was killed year before last, and her mother was gracious enough to want to reach out to us and be involved in it. And the plan is to be involved with the Sheriff's Department again this year for that event.
Very good. Are you guys going to be? I'm kind of jumping around. I'm a little bit attention issues, but I forgot to ask you guys before we went into the Christmas thing. Are you guys going to be involved with the trick or treating on the square that they're going to do tomorrow with the kiddos in downtown? Have y'all got something going on with that?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We'll be at.
I forgot to ask you about that, so I apologize.
Yeah, we'll have officers at City Hall.
Okay.
When they come around there. We don't get too many down towards the police department. We're on Willow Street, but we'll have candy there if someone wants to drop by. But we'll focus some of our attention with City Hall.
Okay, well it's just as you were talking about that, I thought, I do know that we've got, and that's I wanted to say from 11 to 4 tomorrow.
Yes,
and so it's early enough that you can come out with the kids that are preschool. And then if you get your kids out of school, I don't know, 2:30 or so, you could actually go around and then go out and trick or treat. And it may be that some folks had enough trunk or treats and all that kind of stuff this weekend, and they'll do that and then go home because it's going to be cold.
Yeah, there's no shortage. There were no shortage of events this weekend.
They were everywhere. So. They were everywhere. It was nuts. And I'm glad. And that's one thing I told everybody on Friday. I said, it is going to be cold. It is going to be bitter cold. Go out this weekend and get your trick or treating out of your system, because it's going to be a cold one. But so maybe I won't have too much, that you have to deal with tomorrow night. Maybe everybody got it out of their system. But it'll go in the afternoon. But so let's jump back over to the Christmas thing. I just knew we forgot to mention that. So with the Shop with a Cop, how long has that been going on? When did that start?
Long time.
I mean, it's been around. I've always heard about it.
Yeah, I think we started about 2012. We started up. Chief Thompson started it up, and we've carried it on, and it's been a great project. Tremendous way for us to have community outreach, especially with the children that may not get enough or be involved in something, and we try to give back that way, and it warms our hearts, and I'm sure I know it's helped a lot of families.
Well, and I thought somewhere where I thought you were going to go is it just also reinforces that police officers are good guys. It's good people, because some of these kids, have been told otherwise.
Well, sometimes they don't
And it
see
just-
us
yeah,
in
you know.
these sometimes situations that
Yeah.
they may be involved in law enforcement is where they're out there working on duty and may be called to the residence for some other reason,
Right.
and or they've seen the media or heard negative things in the past and don't have time to an opportunity to form their own opinions yet because
Right.
they're very, very young anyway. So it gives us an opportunity to be with them and see us in a different perspective. Yeah, we have a job to do, but we're also there's a lot of great human beings that are involved in law enforcement as well.
Amazing.
Compassionate and caring.
And that's one thing too. I have, and my husband would like to have both of y'all come in and talk to his criminal justice class up here at Springfield. That's one thing. He is teaching there's 2 criminal justice teachers. And how do y'all have something? Because I know I'm assuming, are y'all hiring? Right
Yeah,
now?
we are.
That's every law enforcement company. I mean, they're pretty much all hired. How many openings would you have right now?
We have one opening.
Oh,
right now
really?
currently.
That surprises me. That's it. Wow. So how big is your force?
We have 41 sworn.
Okay. Okay. So you have just one, because I know the sheriff's office, they've got lots of openings. And well, that's good that you are so fully staffed. So what would you say, as my husband's presenting law enforcement as a career option? Is there something specific that you would want to say to a young person? I have a young man that is just about to graduate, and I was trying to encourage him to look into law enforcement. Is there something that y'all would want to say to students to say, hey, this is something you need to consider. This is a good career path? Because, I mean, it is. It's excellent. What do you think?
I think it's a great career path. I've been in law enforcement for 33 years.
Wow.
I've seen a lot, done a lot. I find it rewarding, challenging. I would just say it's important to I don't know what the right word is, and just important to maintain a your character.
Behavior matters.
Yeah.
You sometimes you don't realize.
Thank you.
Sometimes you don't realize that until you're in your adult part of your life. But the things you do have consequences, and they have consequences in employment too. So not trying, just pay attention to things you may get involved in or people you hang out with. Yeah, the character's going to be looked at when you're doing we do an extensive background. Those things do pop up from time to time, and we haven't been able to hire people. Agencies aren't able to hire people because something that happens. But yeah, background character is a good opportunity. Opportunity for things to watch. Education. Getting involved in classes like your husband's teaching.
Yeah, we've had a conversation. I can't recall her name's the other teacher.
Yes, Miss Self.
Yes,
Yes.
About participating.
Have y'all been out yet?
No, but we talked earlier this year.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just ready for the
I
invitation.
can set that up. I can set that up truly, because I know because he's so funny. He goes, I need all your contacts, LaVern, because there's, he needs to see let these students talk to you guys and see what's available out there. What is the position y'all have open right now?
Just patrol officer.
Just patrol. It's a patrol officer.
That's where everyone starts out in our department. And if they're younger, say they're younger, they're turning 18, getting out of high school, perhaps a sheriff's office would be something to look at. We hired officers in at 21 years of age.
Okay.
But to send them to the academy, the sheriff's department will hire them in a little bit younger to work in the jail, and that's a good opportunity too. I started out in a jail many years ago, and that's a good opportunity to get involved in law enforcement and start to see the basics of communication, having to deal with people that perhaps don't agree with you on a lot of things, and that's a good way to start. And going to school, getting your education degree in college never hurts. But if you seek out an academy on your own too, there's some places that will let you go and pay for your academy on your own, and then you're very marketable. Right. Not getting into a lot of job advice, but if you go make yourself marketable in any job, whether it be get education or training, then it's much easier to hire you and get you in the door somewhere than it is to come just blind into it.
Right. My husband actually was on the waiting list for the Michigan Police Academy the week we got married. They called him. They're like, hey, we're ready for you. And it's like, wow, I'm in Tennessee. So here they go. But we are talking with Chief Head and Assistant Chief Burnett, and we appreciate your time. I do need to pause and talk about people who I know y'all know, the Corbins. Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Love Miss Amy Corbin. She is so much fun to talk to and so much fun to learn from. They are just, I cannot say enough that this is the time to go and make sure that you've got things ready for next year. Amy hates winter. She does. Pray for her. She hates it. She hates the cold weather. But this is the time to go and get some really good advice from her about, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that I'm ready to plant the cool weather vegetables in February? And that'll be here before you know it. Where can I put the perennials? Where can I plant my mums to see them come back next year? What do I need to do to make sure that those mums are perennials though, guys? Quit, killing them on your porch. Keep them watered, then put them in the ground, and they will come back next year and year after year, and they will be beautiful. But go and ask her your questions right now. This is a perfect opportunity to do that. Go and get some perennials from her, get them in the ground, and that way you can be looking forward to them all winter long. You can also go in and check out the gift store, see some great handcrafted items from Miss Jane. They are your CBD source for local CBD products. Very great awesome stuff for salve for pains and bugs. They have the salve that is great for bug bites, headache salves, and the oils that help me with my arthritis, and they may be a big help for you. They're at 4920 Highway 161 here in Springfield, 4920 Highway 161. You can give them a call, 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. When you talk to them, let them know that you turned Cincha, and I know you'll see Miss Amy at the Christmas Sampler this weekend as well. She'll be out there running around. Don't forget that. That's one thing. Christmas Sampler. Can you believe it? Christmas Sampler is this weekend, Friday and Saturday. How many people do y'all have to do extra duty there? Do y'all have extra? Because that's a crowd that comes out to that thing.
We'll monitor the parking lot and the roadways.
Right. So. Just things like that. Do y'all have any? Because we've got the parade. Or what are y'all doing in the parade? The Christmas parade.
Christmas parade is coming up.
Yeah.
This year the city is all in on it.
Yeah.
We're having meetings already about the planning phases of it, and we're ready to go. We've got our plan in place, and we're just ready for it. With December the 2nd.
It's the 2nd. It's the 2nd, yeah. And it's a light up, so you're going to have some really cool float.
I hope so, yes. I think there's a lot of big plans for us. We're very excited.
I love it. It's always fun, and it is beautiful, and that's the night that they're kicking off the Winter Wonderland,
yes,
and the walkthrough. So will y'all have a presence out at the walkthroughs and at the time? Okay, God bless y'all. You're going to be busy.
We always are.
My goodness, it is just. Here we go.
We're busy a lot of times, and if we're busy and you don't know it, then that's great.
There you go. Exactly. And that's the reason why I put out all the time. Do y'all have any questions for our law enforcement members? Just tell them we love them and we appreciate them and they're doing a good job. And I pray for y'all.
Sometimes we're doing our job.
List, brother.
Sometimes we're doing our job. You don't know we're doing our job. So that's a good thing.
That's just it. But I tell everybody, you need to have a first responder prayer list, and you need to know who you can lift up and just keep them covered in prayer. Because that makes it. We just appreciate y'all. Completely. I've spent so many years as a traffic reporter listening to what y'all have to do, and it's a lot. So I appreciate you. Anything that we're missing, guys? We got a couple of.
Congratulations! We just finished our 4th Citizens Police Academy.
Oh yeah,
very proud of that. We need to get you involved.
I know. I got to get through with I'm getting my teaching license squared away right now. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching at Greenbrier High School. Did you know that?
No.
I am a high school teacher.
My wife's a teacher.
Where's she teach?
East Robertson Elementary.
Oh my gosh!
She's
what a
dragging
small
out Christmas stuff this weekend.
Yeah, well, I told my students, I said, I'm not. I told them we could put the Christmas tree up right before Thanksgiving. I'm one of those I like to kind of wait, but with school, we're only, we're only like 6 weeks out of Christmas, and we got early graduation getting ready to happen, and all. It goes so fast.
Busy.
But yes, I want to do that, but I'm having to go to Murfreesboro for classes right now, and so
maybe next year we can get you.
Yeah,
and your husband
maybe I'll be done.
class.
I'll be done by this time next year. Now he's getting ready to start his program with UT Martin, but his is online. So, but he definitely wants to do the Citizens Police Academy.
That's great
because with him doing the criminal justice class, that's something to be great for him. Mm-hmm. So we definitely want to do that.
Yeah,
when does that start up?
Typically, we start in September.
Okay.
Fall is a little bit easier. The weather's a little bit more cooperative, and people a little bit different than the spring. We've been asked about having some spring classes. We're not against it, but just the way our schedules align and the instruction and everything that has to go on behind the scenes, it's been easier to do it in the fall.
What are the so we can kind of tentatively put it on our calendar, what days of the week and how long of a commitment?
We've usually done it on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and it's about a 9-week commitment with 2 Saturdays involved. And we ask you to do ride-alongs too. So,
I think that's cool, though.
and it's
I think
free.
that's neat. Yeah, I mean,
it's
it's just
free, and you get to learn about your law enforcement agency that serves you.
Well, definitely. So I get Mark in there, for sure. And I want to do it as soon as I can kind of catch my breath. So anything we're missing?
Now, if we could just plug along talking about earlier about vehicles and thefts from vehicles, remember burglaries of your residence too coming up. If you don't have an alarm system, we encourage people to get alarm systems, cameras, very inexpensive ways to protect your house. Make sure you lock your door, have outside lights on, lock your doors, lock your vehicle doors, take your belongings out of there. Don't leave packages on the front porch, and anything else I can think of to help keep you safe. Especially with the holiday season coming up, we don't want something to be ruined by some packages getting stolen off the front porch, or perhaps you leave something in the vehicle and it gets taken too, or your credit card gets stolen. And online scams, we have a lot of online scams and phone call scams going on too. We don't ever call you, law enforcement ever calls you to request money from you for anybody to get out of jail, or go get a card from Walmart or Kroger or any of these places that they'll request something, go back from get a merchant card and send it back to them. We don't request any of these things. So call us, ask us if you think it's too good to be true, or somebody's wanting to send you money from some country in Africa, then call us. We'll try to verify it. Just be patient a little bit. You may not miss out on that $1 million just yet. You may not get it, but it's better than losing a few $1,000s over something that we could have helped you out with.
I just recently had somebody, and I know we're out of time, but I had recently somebody tell me that they had a parent that was scammed, and because they'll get to the place where they're starting to slip their memory, and went into a bank and took money out, and they could have adverted. I mean, it's just, you just have to be so careful.
Yeah, a lot of the banks have some things in place now where they'll ask a lot of questions, especially if you're getting a large amount of money out. And I know we're running out of time, but also we won't call you and tell you, like we've had one that recalled and said their grandson was arrested, knew the name and everything.
I tried to do that to my mother.
And call us, because we w't call you directly.
Yeah, it's amazing.
A family member that got taken.
Yeah.
Elderly, said the grandson was in jail in Mexico or something, and he paid a lot of money toward his bond.
It's incredible.
I think he had to send it like Apple Play cards.
It's
something.
crazy.
Nobody's going to ask.
But
you to pay
keep all those
that.
things in mind over the holidays, and so you have a great one, and we ring in another year coming up. So just be careful. Wow. Call us. If you need anything, please call us. You're our eyes and ears out there.
Let's get on the calendar before Shop with a Cop. Okay. Let's do this again, if y'all don't mind. Okay. So, and not make it be 8 months, right?
Well, we'll be too late for Shop with a Cop.
Any parting thoughts, Assistant Chief Burnett?
Ma'am, I'm good. All
right. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for joining us. We're a little bit over, but I appreciate you guys taking a minute with us here for 1100 WSGI. Again, this is One Street Over. We'll be back tomorrow with Senator Kerry Roberts. Will be in the house for Halloween. How appropriate. Thank you guys again. This is 1100 WSGI. Have a great day. Be careful out there.